Weekend, and we are delighted that you are here, coming off of what was really a spectacular sports weekend. And again, Adam Silver will be here in 30 minutes, and so will Jay Will. We'll talk about all of that. But let's start at the end of a football Sunday. We had a very interesting night last night. The Cowboys and the Eagles. All the trash talk came from the coach during the week. Doug Peterson saying, we're going to win that football game. The look on Rex Ryan's face is fascinating. We'll get to it in a minute. Cowboys, Eagles, here we go. Early first quarter. First possession for the Eagles, and here's the one thing you cannot do on the road.
And here's these two star linebackers, Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith, vicing Dallas Goedert. Ball pops out. Huge turnover on the early drive by Dallas.
We're in the first 2 minutes, and the Cowboys have great field position, and they take advantage. 3rd and 2. Look at this play.
Ooh, I love it. A little bit of a triple option for this Cowboy offense and Dak Prescott. You've got a give key, you've got a pitch key, and then you get your athlete, Tavon Austin, out in space on a short 3rd and 2. Beautiful design, early touchdown, Dallas.
Austin's first rushing touchdown in 2 years. Very next possession for the Eagles. Second verse, same as the first. This time, Wentz goes down. It's DeMarcus Lawrence.
DeMarcus Lawrence. The defense set the tone for this whole game. I mean, field position, that's why Dallas blew them out.
It leads to this. Zeke Elliott punching it in, and the Cowboys with an early 14-0 lead. Now we're 2 minutes to go in the half. Cowboys are up 21-7 with the ball again. Welcome back, Amari Cooper.
How about this move? They motion Amari over, and they go double move. A little slant and go on Douglas. Beautiful design. Look at that suddenness right there. Head. Nice throw by Dak. Amari Cooper heard he doesn't stink.
No, and Ezekiel Elliott says he's got moves. I've got moves too. Look at him make people miss.
How about this? Brandon Graham, Malcolm Jenkins, you get son. Out in space, Zeke right now. Last night was really special. That swiping the arm by, beautiful run.
They kick a field goal. They're up 24-7 now. 4 seconds left in the half. Speaking of field goals, Pat McAfee.
No man in the history of the game has hit 3 60-plus yard bombs. Brett Maher from 63 could have been good from 90 down there in Jerry World.
Cowboys up by 20 at the half. Then after another Eagles turnover, Cowboys with the football, and they're taking it. And Dak Prescott, take it yourself.
Yeah, stamp your night, Dak. A nice pump fake out in the open field there. Huge touchdown.
And they remembered the guarantee after the win.
When your rival makes a statement that they'll win the game and you disprove that, how does that feel?
I told him to shut up, Nana. All right. So what you think he's doing now? Don't ask me about that man no more, bro.
Do you feel like you were overconfident coming into this week?
No, not at all.
Is this the worst loss since you've been here?
It's either one or two, yes.
All right, and here's more from Zeke Elliott. Honestly, we don't give a bleep what Doug Peterson said. And generally speaking, when someone says that, it means they care a lot. So there's two separate sides to this. There's how this game was decided, and then there's what it means. Let's start with what we saw. The Cowboys have been so inconsistent the last 3 weeks. What did you see from them last night?
It looked like Jason Garrett gave the play calling duties back over to Kellen Moore, because this offense looked like it did in the first month. There was more motion, there was more shift, more pre-snap stuff, more creativity, guys out in space and in matchups, and it worked for Dallas, especially early on.
What did you say?
Well, what I saw is, first off, Doug Peterson set the tone for the whole game. And to me, it's like you see the Cowboys' take on it, that, hey, he guaranteed it. Yeah, but you know what he did? He backed down on what he said. And in his locker room, it's like, whether you said it or not, you put in there that you really don't believe it. So to me, man, pull a Buddy Ryan. If you're gonna say it, double down on it. And number one, my dad would have doubled down and he would have beat Dallas like he always did. This is something right here. Doug Peterson, come on, dude. Like hey, it's like a skunk. You put the skunk out of the box. You can put him back in like he tried to do. Well, that smell is still out there. Dallas had that smell and beat the heck out of you. And to me, but Peterson, that message like, hey, dude, I get it. You won a Super Bowl and all that. Coach Frank Reich might have had something to do with that also. But you're a legend. I'm just telling you right now, man up. Philly wants you to sit back and say, I'm going to beat the hell out of Dallas and go out and do it. Right now, it's like, whoo, now he whimpers away. Man, I lost some respect there.
All right, so Rex is fired up. Pat, what did you see?
Well, I think it's interesting with this Dallas Cowboy team. The inconsistency, like Dan alluded to, is something that is real. I posed a question on the internet, which By the way, it is not the best place to ask questions, but I asked, if Dak and Kellen continue to struggle, should you look elsewhere at the quarterback position? I was assaulted by Cowboys fans. They were completely insulted for me even asking about Dak Prescott not being the Dallas quarterback, because I think I got a chance to see it a little bit last night. High football IQ moves. He checked out of something and moved into something else to make their team look better. There was a moment with Malcolm Jenkins in the end of the game, towards the end of the game, where Malcolm Jenkins was kind of holding him up, and he was like letting him know, like, oh, this is me, Malcolm Jenkins. This is OG Malcolm Jenkins. And Dak Prescott literally said, here's the check that he made that was just absolutely beautiful. High football IQ stuff. Made the offense better with his brain, his arm, and his legs, which is something that's incredible.
But the toughness.
The Malcolm Jenkins moment where Malcolm was kind of holding him up,
right here.
and he kind of said to him, like, hey, this is me. This is me. I'm Malcolm Jenkins. I'm OG. Dak, don't play that. Okay? Dak said, get the hell out of my face. The entire offensive line came running over. It was said by Chris Collinsworth last night that he gives a motivational speech to the offense every single week. I would love to be a fly in the wall. But for me, I think I learned a lot about Dak yesterday. I don't think I've been giving him enough credit, enough respect. I think it's about time to pay him. I don't know how much. But if that's a Cowboys team that continues to show up, they're going to be good. But it could also be because the Eagles.
Thank you.
Maybe not.
Maybe an overreaction.
It's interesting because just to give you a sense, Pat McAfee on this show last week said the Cowboys would not win another game.
Little overreaction.
We go one way or the other on this. But here, maybe this is what we can reasonably say. A, they got some help last night, right?
Yep.
They got a bunch of short fields. They took advantage. But when they've got Cooper healthy and Zeke is going, it's a pretty good team. That offense is pretty good, and particularly when the left tackle is back on the field. When they've got their guys, that's a pretty good offense.
Yeah, it's a good offense, and especially when they're allowed to do things they want. I mean, like, first down last night, they turned around and handed it off to Zeke 21 times. Like, that is the exact way that football team wants to and needs to play, is the big offensive line taking control of the football game and turning around, especially early in football games, and being able to hand it off to Zeke, because he is one of those backs that the more you can give it to him early, the better impact it will have third and fourth quarters. And so if they can continue to play that style of football, but the thing is, we have not seen that week to week out of this football team, especially out of Dak at quarterback.
And we're going to spend a little more time later this hour on the Eagles side of this, because this was an implosion in a variety of ways, and they're in trouble after back-to-back bad losses. But generally speaking, do we feel good about the Cowboys? It's been such an up and down start to go into the bye 4-3 on top of what suddenly doesn't look like a very good division.
I mean, they're going to make the playoffs because that division looks very bad. I think Orlovsky's been saying that for a few weeks. But you have no idea what team's going to show up. If this offense can continue to generate and that defense can continue to just swarm and cause turnovers and set the team up with a good kicker, good punter, good offense, good defense, this team has all the makings to do good. But who knows who's going to show up, Greeny? Nobody. And I don't even think the Cowboys know who's going to show up.
I love it when we lead with the kicker and the punter. Okay, so we've got the good
63-yarder, Greeny.
Cowboys.
That's overrated.
Sometimes good, sometimes not. Yesterday, the Green Bay Packers made a statement.
Listen, if you could describe what the Eagles did as an implosion, you could call this an explosion. Raiders and the Packers. Who was the better Aaron here, Dan?
I'm going to say Aaron Jones, because the ball's thrown a little bit on the inside. The ability to track the ball, turn his body, find it again, and make that catch. So impressive.
Then let's give this one to Aaron Rodgers, I would say, as he connects with Jake Kumaro, right?
Yeah, move the safety towards the middle of the field, and then an absolute dime right over the right shoulder of Kumaro. He makes a great catch, and then the tightrope leap to get that ball inside the pylon.
Rodgers, Matt LaFleur, obviously pretty happy. They're in sync. Third quarter we go. It's Rodgers to Jimmy Graham. Keep in mind, they don't have Devontae Adams, coach. How are you supposed to defend this?
I have no idea. Aaron Rodgers is phenomenal. But the thing I like most is the head coach put a hat on. He looks better.
I love that that's your biggest takeaway. And then here it is, Rodgers connecting with Marquez Valdez-Scantling. 5 touchdowns for Rodgers through the air, most since 2015. He also ran one in. And the Packers absolutely rout the Raiders. 42-24 was the final. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers and that performance, an absolute explosion. He accumulated more total touchdowns yesterday than he did in the team's previous 4 games combined. He also made a career high with 2 50-yard completions on the day. So I will start with you, Dan. To what do you attribute what we saw yesterday from Green Bay?
Well, yesterday was the head coach and the play caller almost being like a pitcher and catcher in baseball. A lot of times we watch a catcher give a signal to a pitcher and he waves it off. That was not the case. This was one of those times where you watched a pitcher never wave off the catcher, meaning on the same page. the whole time. They're seeing the game the same way yesterday, where Matt LaFleur is making calls to, hey, I'm making this play call to get the ball out of your hand quickly. This is not a ball that we're going to throw downfield. So he's getting it out quickly to tailbacks and quickly to some tight ends. And as a quarterback, when you're operating the offense like this and it's getting out of your hands so quickly, you're telling the play caller, I'm seeing this the same way you are. And then as a play caller, you go, okay, then I feel good about taking some shots downfield with some play action pass and trusting your quarterback. This right now is perfect symphony between play caller and quarterback.
Yeah, and we never saw that early in the year. I mean, let's face it.
Yeah.
So we finally saw it. First game that we've seen that offense really click. And guess what? They've lost one game all season because their defense has been there the whole year. They create turnovers. And now, you talk about a message to the entire league. This is absolutely scary because if Aaron Rodgers can be the Aaron Rodgers that we know, and we mentioned that. Hell, you mentioned there's no Devontae Adams. Oh, your best receiver, that he's not out there? You got guys that never even practiced during the week, and he's going to put up these kind of numbers? I mean, it is scary. They're running the football better than they have in recent years. Their defense certainly playing better than they have. And now Aaron Rodgers is back to being him. It's scary.
As a best friend of Aaron Rodgers, he and I played golf together in the Bahamas. No big deal. We won there. After the first game against the Chicago Bears, I think whenever you saw him kind of light up with his eyes and his personality after an abysmal performance by that offense, and he said, we have a defense, you could see that something special was possibly going to start brewing there. If him and LaFleur could get on the same page, which I would argue in Dallas they did, given Aaron Jones 4 touchdowns there, the offense started working, Aaron started showing some trust. But I think Aaron's big thing is he kills him with indifference. He never gives any answers with any real depth in it. All he's been talking about is how much fun they're having, how good the defense is, how well-rounded the team. The last time Aaron Rodgers was gifted a top 10 defense was in 2010. They won the Super Bowl. So now you got hot Aaron Rodgers. You got a great defense, good special teams. I've been saying it for a few weeks. I think the Green Bay Packers are going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl, and I think this is going to be the start of something beautiful with LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers. Aaron never had to learn a new offense until this year, so there was obviously going to be some stumbling off the blocks, but now we're getting a chance to watch Aaron Rodgers dominate, which is going to be fun for the rest of the league.
Let me say one other thing here, and not taking anything. Rodgers was brilliant. They look great right now. They feel like the team to beat in the NFC. But there was one play that completely turned this game yesterday, and it was this play by Derek Carr. If you weren't watching, this game was back and forth and back and forth, and the Raiders were matching them score for score. And as he is diving, by the way, this is going to be a first down. This is not a fourth down play. My 16-year-old son on the couch screams, don't hold the ball out like that. Now, I happen to hate this rule. I think they should change the rule. But we know it's the rule. Rex, what is he doing extending the ball in his left-handed, completely turns the game?
It's such a boneheaded play. It's not even funny. And if it was the first time he ever did that, then you might say, well, he's going to learn from it. Well, he's already done this before. This isn't the first time this has happened. But you're right, Greeny. It totally flipped momentum. And is momentum important in games? Oh, my gosh. And it was over. As soon as he fumbled that ball, the game was over, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's